I know a lot of you out there right now are wondering, hey Yankee, what's in that big old box? Well, believe it or not, I get that question quite a lot, if you know what I mean. And this time, the answer isn't a rolled up sweat sock. It's actually my Christmas present. And I thought I would take a moment here today to show it to you before I wrap it up, put it under the tree, and then pretend to be surprised in a few days when I open it up, even though I'm the one that picked it out, told everybody where to go to pay for it, told them what gifts to get me so I could pay for it. So, still got to act surprised for everyone else's benefit. It's like some sort of weird game we play every Christmas. But I thought I'd take a second here to show it to you before I wrap it up. Let's open it up here and see what is inside. First, we have a cleaning kit. And we got a receipt here. You don't need that. And inside is the new B&T USW-A1, which I do believe stands for Universal Service Weapon A1. But I'll have to look that up and verify that. And if it's not, I'll edit that out. If it is, I'll leave it in. Now, let's look at what's in the box here before we take a closer look at the gun. First, there's some extra grips here. There's a sling. And there is a light, which is an Enforce light, which I like because Enforce is actually my choice for handgun lights. I actually like the Enforce, like those paddles on them. So now let's take a quick look at the gun now that we've looked at what's in the box with it. Okay, this is not going to be a comprehensive review here since I just got this. I haven't shot it yet. So I can't tell you anything about it function-wise, but I thought I'd go over a few of the little unique features of the gun here so you can kind of get an idea of what this gun is all about. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is this gun is very long, and that's because it has this extra little piece back here, this little attachment on the back here that does a couple of things. One, it houses the red dot sight. This is an aim point red dot sight that comes on the gun. You don't pay extra for this. This is part of the package. I'm sure it's figured into the price there, but it's not something you buy afterwards. Another thing you'll notice about this little end section here is it is set up for a stock. This gun is designed to have a stock on it. It is a pistol set up with a stock in mind when it was designed. That's why they have this little extra piece on the end here. Makes the gun long enough for a stock when the stock folds, because the stock actually folds, and gives you a place for your red dot sight here. You'll notice up here there's a little button. That's where you will release the stock. And if you noticed on that receipt earlier, there's little measurements here. That was where we were measuring for the stock. I've already filed the paperwork to SBR this. It will be, I guess, a short-barreled rifle once we put the stock on it, even though it's just a pistol. But going to do that. This, like I said right here, this releases it. This folds forward, locks in place. Boop, push that, it pops out for you. Now, looking at the gun itself, if you've been paying attention to YouTube over the last several years, you might notice that this gun looks very familiar. And that's because B&T based this gun on the specs and designs and machinery that they bought from Sphinx. Went out of business, B&T bought up all their stuff and started producing this gun based on the Sphinx guns. Other than the add-on here at the back and the little lever here for the stock release, there's only really one big difference between this gun and the old Sphinx guns, and that is this big flare right here. You might be asking yourself, why is there that big flare right there with those serrations? Well, that's because with this little part back here added on, you can't really grab the back of the slide and rack it because your hand would hit that machine part right there and you wouldn't be able to actually make the motion to rack the slide. So you rack the slide from the front. It's kind of like doing a press check. You rack it that way. Now, as far as just general function goes, this gun is a double action, single action gun. It's 9mm and it does have a decocker here. You decock it back down to double action for that first shot so you can carry it safely without the risk of activating that light trigger accidentally. Now, as far as the trigger on the gun is concerned, it's got a nice trigger. It's not exactly light or anything. I haven't measured it yet, but I'll give you all that when I do a review on the gun later. But it is consistent. It is very clean. It is very crisp braking. So it is a good double action trigger. I'm definitely happy with the trigger in double action. Now, as far as the reset is concerned, it is very short, very clicky, very crisp. You definitely feel it, and very light. So the trigger on the gun, I'm going to give it a good grade right now. Even though I haven't shot the gun, mechanically, it feels very good. Now, this gun is something that not everyone's going to like, because I will admit that when you put all these features together, it does have kind of a weird look to it, but it is oddly appealing in person. When you see it in person, you're kind of like, wow, that is very cool looking. It's kind of futuristic looking, looks like something from the Terminator or something. Just looks really cool. Could I say or something one time more? But this gun, it just looks cool in my opinion. I really like it. And I think with that sight and with that stock, it could be a very functional gun for very specific circumstances. So there you have a very quick first look at my gun, like I said, before I wrap it up and pretend to be surprised when I get it for Christmas. Hopefully I'll have a review that's a little more in-depth shortly after the new year, after I get it to the range and shoot it a little bit. Now, I don't do reviews like immediately when I get a gun, because I like to shoot them for a few months first, but hopefully pretty soon I'll have enough rounds through this that I'll be able to give you a little bit more comprehensive review about how it functions, other than just the features of the gun. So there you have it. There's the answer to what's in Yankee's big old box. It's large, it's black, and it's kind of funny looking, but in the end, I hope it's going to end up to be a lot of fun.